Today, we're learning about a relationship between a man and a woman where holiness was recognized, hospitality practiced, appreciation shown, and graciousness revealed, and expectations were non-existent except where a promise was made. And the relationship existed several thousand years ago. So be sure to stick around and just until the end to see how you can see if you can identify how you might respond in similar situations. And tap on the like and subscribe buttons below. Welcome, and thanks for tuning in. Today's story is about a wealthy woman and a holy man. The woman gave the man a place to stay. The man wanted to return the favor, but his favor went awry. The woman, however, held the man to his word and did so in such a way that no one was offended nor were they upset. There was only mutual respect and honor. A few thousand years ago, there was a woman who lived in the town of Shunem, and she was wealthy. One day, Elisha was passing through, and the woman invited him to eat with her and her husband. And after that eating and Elisha went on his way, the woman told her husband that Elisha must be a holy man of God, and she wanted to do something special, like build a special room for him so that when he came through town, he would have a place to stay. Now, Elisha was very appreciative and told his servant to get the woman. When she got there, Elisha asked her what he could do for her since she had gone to so much trouble for him. But she told him she wanted nor needed nothing. Well, Elisha really wanted to do something for her, so he asked his servant about it. And his servant said, well, she has no son and her husband is old. There it is. So Elisha called the woman again and told her that in due time she would give birth to a son. Now the woman was taken aback and told Elisha he better not be fooling her. Well, sure enough, in about 9 months, she had a son. And one day when the boy was older, he and his father went out to the field. But the boy started complaining of a headache, so the father sent him back to his mother. So his mother held him in her lap for a little bit, and then he died. So the woman carried the boy's body to Elisha's room and laid him on the bed. She then told her husband to get a donkey ready because she was going to go see Elisha. Well, Elisha just happened to see the woman coming before she ever arrived, and he sent his servant out to meet her and find out what was going on. But she told the servant that it was okay, and she rode on. When she got there, she took hold of Elisha's feet. The servant moved toward her, but Elisha told him to leave her alone because that she was in distress, and God had hidden this distress from him. And then the woman said, did I ask you to give me a son? And did I not say, don't be teasing me? And Elisha realized that the boy was dead. So he sent his servant with his own staff and told him not to stop and talk to anyone, but go directly to the boy and lay the staff on the boy's face. But the woman said, nope, I'm not leaving here without you. So Elisha followed her. Now in the meantime, Elisha's servant had gotten to the boy and laid the staff on his face, but the boy didn't wake up. So the servant met the woman and Elisha and told them about the boy. So when Elisha got there, he saw the boy laying on the bed. He closed the door, prayed to God, and then he laid on the boy with his mouth on the boy's, his eyes on the boy's, and his hands on the boy's. And the boy's cold flesh started getting warm. Elisha got up, walked around the room for a minute, then bent over the boy again, and the boy sneezed 7 times and opened his eyes. Elisha called his servant and had him get the boy's mother. When she came, he handed the boy to her and said, take your son. She fell at his feet and bowed to the ground. Then she took her son and left. Now this is such an interesting story, and there are many things that we could look at in this story, but I want to focus on the woman. She's one of my very favorite women in the Bible. So first, we have a wealthy woman as the focal point. She's not a queen or a princess, but the wealth seems to be hers because otherwise the story would have read something like she was the wife of a wealthy man. We also know that she has no sons. Now, she may have daughters, but the story doesn't mention anything about them. The woman also must be able to sense or identify the presence of God since she recognized Elisha as a holy man and offered him hospitality. Because she sensed Elisha's holiness, she honored and welcomed this man of God without wanting anything in return, even when he asked her. And I kind of wonder how she came to know Elisha as a holy man. What did she hear or see in him, in this man, that brought her to that conclusion? Perhaps when they shared a meal she realized it. There's just a certain intimacy experience when you share a meal with someone. I don't know, maybe it's an understanding of equality because everyone has to eat. I also sensed the woman herself was a holy person and desired to be around Elisha's holiness. I mean, just think of someone that you know who, whenever you're around them, there's a holy or spiritual presence. There's not necessarily talk of spiritual things, there's just a presence, even after you've parted ways. Another thing that brings me to think that she was holy in her own right is the fact that she offered hospitality and she didn't expect nor did she want anything in return. How many of us can say this? I have to acknowledge my own times of maybe having felt upset or mad for things not going a certain way or going smoothly in spite of my own efforts to live a decent, good, and holy life. I've come to realize there have been times that I've expected things should play out in a certain way because of my own personal efforts to do the right things. It's that reward and punishment concept we seem to love so much, but it isn't really the gospel. But not the Shunammite woman. She had no inclination that the way she lived her life should merit her any kind of reward or privilege. She did what she did because that's who she was. But Elisha really wanted to do something for her. What can I do for you? Nothing. She wanted nothing. Can you imagine being so content with who you are and what you have that you want absolutely nothing? No increase of wealth, no new car, no new clothes, no new house, no prestige, no different job. She didn't even ask for a son. Nothing. But Elisha was the one that wasn't satisfied. So when he found out she had no son, he decided that's what he could do for her, even though she didn't ask for it. Now, she was uncertain at first and made it clear that he better not be joking with her. I don't think her response was doubt that it could happen, but more like, would it happen? After all these years, would she and her husband finally have a son? Well, Elisha was good as his word. She had a son, and then he died. She was not a happy camper, so she went off to find this holy man. She didn't pout or cry or say, oh, this must be the will of God, or, well, he's in a better place. Nope. She found Elisha and said, did I ask you for a son? No. Did I say you better not be messing with me? Now my son is dead. What the hell happened? So Elisha sent his servant to take care of the boy, but the woman was having none of it. No, you come take care of my son. And he did. Elisha went to the boy and performed what might be the first successful mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. Not only that, but he touched the boy body part to body part, and the boy came to life. Elisha walked out with the boy and handed the boy over to his mother. She took the boy, bowed, and left. So what have we learned from her? Well, first, hospitality prepares us to meet God in every stranger and every familiar, whether we are at home, church, work, school, or in public somewhere. In the book Radical Hospitality, hospitality is said to be the opening of ourselves to touch another's soul and to let them touch ours. Both are needed. Hospitality to people we don't like, who like us, and who do not like us. Second, we see what giving without expecting anything in return looks like. There were no conditions put on the room that she built for Elisha, and she wanted nothing in return. Third, we learn how to be bold in our expectations of honesty. She let Elisha know that she would not tolerate hollow words. Fourth, when something terrible happened, she kept it to herself. She didn't begin talking bad about Elisha or how he let her down or how he must not be that holy or whatever someone might say when they feel betrayed. Fifth, we learn how to demand that someone live up to their word. When her son died, she did not hesitate to find him and have him, not his servant, make it right. And the sixth thing we learn from her is how to be gracious when someone rights their wrong. She bows in honor and gratitude to him for making good his word. No need to say anything else. I think too often many of us are just tempted to throw in an I told you so or something to feel like we have the upper hand. But no, graciousness like this woman showed is the good and holy route to take. Yes, the woman from Shunem teaches us many things. A woman whose age is not known, a woman with no name, a woman who is godly, a woman so content she could not think of a single thing she wanted, a woman who lived humbly and contentedly with her God. So what can we ask ourselves from this story? Well, first, what are the things that I feel entitled to because of my efforts to live a good life? 2, what do I see in people I call holy that leads me to that conclusion, and how do I honor them? 3, what do I see in myself that I call holy, and how do I honor that? 4, do I truly give without expecting anything in return? Explain. 5, have I ever tried to send someone else to do something that was really my responsibility to do? And what was the motivation behind that? Think on these questions and see what you come up with. If you feel like sharing any of your thoughts, please leave them in the comment section below. I want to thank you so much for joining me, and please be sure and share this video and hit the like and subscribe buttons. Again, thank you, and until next time, go, do, and live as the Shunammite woman.